Happy Tuesday. What's good, everybody? Lucky Lefty Podcast. We're both on location. I'm down in the Easy, the Big Easy, the NO. Man, let me tell you something, bro. Today, I got up, went for a nice walk. It's nothing like clean Southern air, bro. It's just something about the South. Good, fresh air. The smell of tall pines in the air right off Interstate 55. Hit coming into New Orleans. And, whoo, man. Just really good, man.
That's
Just
right.
good. Took a nice walk on the boardwalk
That's right.
and got me
You've
some
been
coffee.
traveling lately, huh? You in Louisiana, Chicago, South Bend, look,
I'll be in LA in 2 weeks,
LA. This
and then
might be an on the road show on the road, huh?
I'll be in LA in May and June.
That's right.
I'm actually coming to LA in June to check out the. My wife is a huge, huge Janet Jackson fan.
Really? Oh, so
Yeah.
she had to reschedule because of Trey Young, huh?
So she's coming to see Janet out at the Hollywood Bowl on the
Ooh,
10th.
Janet still got it
So
too, huh?
we'll see. And my wife was like, "Man, I got 2 tickets. Do you want to go with me?" And I'm like, "No." And this is a real conversation. And she said, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm trying to get up on the stage, and I don't want to embarrass you."
That's right.
Because every show, Janet does a little strip tease for like one
Uh-huh.
of the dudes, and I was like, "Dude, I'm trying to be the dude up there on the chair. I'm letting you
Yeah.
know right
Yeah,
now.
letting you know right now.
I'm
If I'm
letting
gonna
you know
go, I'm
right now."
gonna be for it. That's
I
what I'm
said,
saying.
"So I'm trying not to embarrass you and my parents and my family.
Yeah.
Because I'm letting you
But,
know
but that's what gotta happen for real.
when Janet is like looking out in the audience, I'm gonna act a plum fool, dog. I'm gonna act a plum fool to make sure,
Be a
man.
bigger fan than you out there when that happens.
Yo, so I believe it was, I forget which tour it was, the one where she was in Hawaii. She did the
Mm,
strip tease for a guy that was just kind of handcuffed to a chair. But if
mm,
you've never seen it, go watch her Velvet Rope tour,
mm,
where she had a guy strapped down,
mm,
like on this bed, bro.
mm.
I look,
In
man.
Hawaii?
No, no, no. This one was in. I think this one was in a show in Vegas. It was her Velvet Rope tour. She had to tell the dude. That dude said, "I love you"
Mm,
39 times, bro.
mm, mm, mm.
To the point that she couldn't even almost finish. She was laughing like, "Dude, shut up!"
Mm.
Like I'm trying to do a show.
That would be me.
That's it.
That was Janet Jackson right there. What you mean? That's the once in a lifetime?
Yo, so this sparked the conversation. LL question of the day: Is there a great? Is there a great sports entertainment that you wish you had seen in person? I've never seen Michael Jackson in person, bro. I wish I had.
Mm,
I've never seen Michael Jackson in person. I wish I had. They did the big Jackson tour. They came through Comiskey Park. At that point in time, I think I was like 10 years old when they came through.
mm.
And then after that, I just never really caught Mike in concert. But I wish I had. His untimely death. I wish I had, because Mike was just one of those guys that you just knew would have ended up with a residency in Vegas, and you would have caught him down the line. Unfortunately, he passed away. Um, I hear great things about Usher's show in
Yeah.
Vegas. Great things. It was crazy because my wife went with her best friend and came back and told me his show was for you.
Mm,
Like his show is for guys. Because I guess the whole set is basically it's like an Atlanta strip club.
mm, mm.
So even though he's singing songs, to the ladies, the whole background and the show itself is, something different. So, uh, yeah, that's the LL question of the day. Is there a great that you never got a chance to see in person that you wish you had seen in person? And I'm just trying not to embarrass my wife on
Right.
June 10th. out there at Hollywood Bowl. So
That's right.
my daughter's gonna go with her because my daughter, considers Janet Jackson a legend. And she's like, yo, I don't want to miss the opportunity to see her if this is indeed her last concert.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like if this is LeBron's last go around, the next couple of
That's
years.
not for like 3 or 4 years. We good.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's coming to an end. I would like to go see a game at Crypto. You know what I'm saying? I would like to, in the next couple of years, I would like to catch a game at Crypto and see him. I've seen him at the United Center. I've seen LeBron play. I've seen him play the Bulls plenty of times, but I'd love to catch him in a Lakers uniform.
That's right.
I absolutely would. Is there anybody in college that you wish you had seen? I never got to see you in person, Left. I wish I had seen you in person.
Oh yeah, we was packing out the stadium.
I wish I had seen you in person. See, seeing you in person changed Kenny Minchie's whole life.
That's kind of real, man. I think about that when you had told me. I'm like, man, and to see him, I think he really has a chance to really be in position to lead the team. So I like the coaches. I was able to meet Coach G. Coach Jared Parker is like the same on the field like he is off the field. He just be floating. You can't even really get a chance to talk to him. He'd be at the event, but he ain't at the event kind of thing.
Yeah.
When I did talk to him, you would have thought we was in practice because he was real short and he was like, all right, thanks, I'll see you later. And it was on to the next thing. So maybe he is the voice of reason, or maybe he just feel like he got a lot on his plate and he's trying to take it serious.
Yeah.
Either way, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's look at some of these answers, man. Josh Buffo, the motivational business banker, said Prime Jordan. He also says Prime Kobe. Marvin Bell, this is a good one. Rick James. Rick James is somebody I would have loved to kick it with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have loved to kick it with Rick James. Mike Huff, another one for Michael Jordan in person. K Mac. This is a different one. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor. That would have been different.
That would have been different.
Josh Buffalo said the Rocket as well. I actually saw Prince in Vegas in 2000. I want to say it was 2007. It was the weekend. Remember the NBA All Star was in Vegas that year?
Yeah.
That weekend, Prince was in town as well. It was a crazy weekend.
Dang.
It was a crazy weekend. Oh, this is a good one. Garland Dotsy says Bob Marley. Yes. I would have loved to see Bob Marley in person. I actually saw a clip of Rick Ross. I guess he did a show recently in Atlanta with the Black Atlanta Orchestra. And they did, he did Every Day I'm Hustling with a full orchestra left. I almost lost my mind, bro.
It was that
nice? I was like, yo, this is bananas, bro. You talking about like live instrumentation. The bass guitar was killing, and you had like the bass stand-up bass, and then you had the violinist in the background. Like, whew, I was like, yo. And everybody knows the lyrics to the song.
Yeah.
So all he had to do was intro. He brought that bad fella in, and the audience just took over. I was like, yo, that's dope. That's dope. That's just one of those moments. Like, man, you wish you had been there. Eddie Murphy live. I've yet to
Eddie
see
Murphy live would be pretty good.
You know what? I would like to catch Eddie Murphy doing a stand-up. Like if he does another one. See, this is something, Gino. I actually saw Biggie at the House of Blues. I saw Biggie at the House of Blues in Chicago in 95. It was 94. I think it was 94. He came during the summer in the House of Blues, Chicago. So I was able to catch him. Never saw Pac. Let's see. We got some good ones coming through left. B-Dub 804 says the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels. G-Baby said Bernie Mac and Mike Jackson. I actually saw Bernie
Bernie
Mac
Mac.
in
Bernie Mac is big
Chicago. I saw Bernie at Riddles before he blew up.
Oh, like he is from Chicago. That's right.
Yeah. But this is like before he blew up. Like he was like the dude in Chicago.
Because he was doing the train shows, right?
Yeah. You know what? Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, definitely. Now, would you have preferred to see Randy Moss at Marshall or Randy Moss in the NFL? Randy Moss at
College.
Marshall was different. That was just
He was nice in college. I probably would have said college just to see him be it's unfair in the NFL, but it was really unfair in college. So see him and Chad Pennington go crazy, probably be cool to see.
Yeah, that would have been super dope. That would have been super dope. So today the theme is now. See, this is funny, right? Because I told you we started a conversation on the IB message board concerning the Floyd, Will Fuller, Golden Tate conversation, right? And so it was funny because somebody, I guess they call themselves critiquing the show, said that we don't have much of a script as a show, which I find funny because every single one of our shows have a theme.
Yeah.
We literally give a theme and have it at the bottom of the screen every show
Every show.
and know exactly how we're going to play into that theme. But it was funny. Oh yeah, I found out also that I was a producer that was learning football from other people, which I find hilarious. But you know what? Tiffany Midget said a Wu Tang show. They just had a show recently that went viral because was it Cash? I think it was Cream, and they had the sign language person in front of the stage, and I think Method Man was going crazy just watching her interpret the song, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that
that's right.
video clip went viral. So yeah, that was funny. No, Jason Smith says so. SD does read the boards. This one, the only reason I knew about this is because B Driss called me. He called me on Sunday and was like, "Yo, did you see this thread that your show inspired?" And I was like, "Huh?" And so I read everything and I started laughing. I was like, "Yo, yeah." Garland Doxy saw it. He said she snapped with that method. It's hype. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I've actually seen Wu Tang in concert.
Okay.
I've seen Wu Tang in concert. Let me tell you the coldest. Who the heck are these dudes? Concert I've ever seen. 2000 was that 2003? The NBA, I believe 2003 NBA All Star was in LA. So we go out to. Remember I told you the Paul Pierce story? Like we went to this little spot in West Hollywood. You know, this cat left. Like I know you said like, yo, I'm about to do a live show. My man is in that. Oh, only on the Lucky Left
Oh, you said it's
podcast.
no script. Yeah, that's what you said. No script. What was that? I cannot believe it.
But no, it's funny. It's funny because I don't know. I have no clue what that was. Matter of fact, I just lost all train of thought.
You know what's so crazy? It's actually you know how you get the grass put in?
Yes. So
And
you get new sod. You get new sod.
yeah, but that grass that looks like good all year round, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that type of thing. So you know. Those boys working. Those boys working. Jesus.
I'm like, is this part of the show that we're supposed to get up and run?
Yeah,
Right? You hear the chainsaw? Like, we don't want to be like, the characters in real movies that sit there and all of a sudden.
yeah. Something happened, like you know how that goes. Oh,
Oh man.
home of the misguided passion. We do it the best here.
Gino said, yeah, that's that audio edible right. Oh man. But we were trying to transition into um, new roles, right? And before we do that, we're going to get to the Notre Dame side. But Bruce Feldman, who is, man, a big brother to this show, he's been on with us, what, 3 times now? And I'm sure we're going to have him on this summer and during the season coming up from The Athletic. Had an incredible article where he spent 3 days with DJ Uagalele, who is now the starting quarterback at Oregon State. And Left, you've mentioned this as we've seen the portal heat up. And I had to laugh at this. Wait a minute. Gino said, hey, what's that noise? Dun, dun, dun. Let's go check it out. The chat is the best. The chat is the best. We both get up like, yo, where'd that come from?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking.
All of a sudden, blood spatter on both our screens. Like, oh man. Like,
That would have had to solve the mystery right there in chat. This is where y'all would have had to come into action for real.
oh man. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, can I read you a couple of quotes? A couple of interesting quotes from DJ Uagalele. The first thing he said is, when I was looking to transfer, I didn't give a darn about the campus. I didn't give a darn about NIL. I didn't give a darn about all the bells and whistles. I just wanted to go somewhere where I thought they could get me NFL ready with a pro style offense that fit my skills. We talk about this all the time, and you mention it all the time. Even when you talk to young guys at the Elite 11 competitions, you talk about how you share with them how important it is to go to a place that's the right fit. Like, it's cool that you're 17 and you're falling in love with all the bells and whistles, but as a quarterback, there's no more important position than to think about fit coming out of high school than the quarterback position, yo. And now you pointed out something before we actually came on, like, yo, DJ gets it. He had to live it. Like, talk about that, Left. Like, somebody, they have to live it to understand what it is that they really need for them to become the players that they need to become.
Well, he didn't say anything about school. He didn't say he was looking for the nice master's program. Or...
No. Heck no. No. No.
I
That
thought,
man said,
I
he
thought,
said, I didn't give a darn about campus, location, facilities, NIL, nothing.
he didn't say that about no academics. I thought we was student athletes. Anyway, yes, it's about.
Matter of fact, he didn't even take a visit. He said he didn't even need to pick. He didn't even need to see the campus or the facilities
He didn't
of the
talk to the
places.
academic counselors or nothing.
None of that.
He didn't do that. See,
Now this is he did. He graduated in 3 years at Clemson. He's a very smart young man.
yeah, but at the same time, it also goes back to why fit is important, and it's a hierarchy to fit. Fit comes over academics if we really want to do it right.
Mm.
If you got to go to Western Michigan because they say, listen, you are finna be the starter at Western Michigan for 4 years straight, come on down. I'm looking at what departments of academics at Western Michigan I'm going to decide to go to. Because that is ultimately what's going to keep you at the school or not, is your playing time.
Mm.
And so I think DJ, being the number one quarterback and all of that coming out of high school, you fall into that. I need the biggest and best and baddest, this, that, or the other. But fit involves and is not discriminatory to number one players, to number 100 players, to black, white, or indifferent. You have to be able to fit where you're going, because at the end of the day, it's too hard to try to fit into something that isn't built around you. And a lot of it is crazy because you can't really understand it until you go through it. Because when you coming out of high school, a lot of what DJ probably felt, oh, I can make this work. I'm the number one player. I can hand it off. I can do it all. Whatever you can ask me, I can do it because I'm the best. Unfortunately, when you get into big business in college football, you have to be able to know, and you'll find out real quickly what you're good at and what you're not good at because you're a part of a system. You're a part of a whole uh, uh, infrastructure that you have to find your role. And if the role isn't supporting your talents that you're good at, and this is stuff that's not necessarily throwing it or running it, but your communication from the sideline. Are you a signal guy? Are you a mic? You need somebody to tell you in the mic. Are you a huddle guy? Are you a fast paced guy? Are you a under the center? Sam Hartman's, face some of that. Are you a all strictly shotgun? Are you a running type of quarterback? Are you so there's different types of systems that you'll learn what you're good at and what you're not. And when you're not fitting in the system, it's the worst thing because it's like you're in purgatory. There's nothing you can do to make it work. It's like everything you do is either the worst thing in the world, or it's like really, really bad, or everything is a struggle. The same plays ain't the same plays working out for you. Yeah, we got this curl thing with the little dig, but and you run it and it's a touchdown. I run it, it's like we got to hit the check down. I got to run around for my life. The drop is different, whatever, So you saw that a little bit in the spring game with Tyler and Sam. I don't know if Tyler was throwing it, like throwing the game or trying to look bad, but the same plays, even if they were called, didn't look like the same plays when the two quarterbacks were in there. So that's why it's a facade when people try to talk about, yeah, we got two different quarterbacks, but we're generally running the same stuff. No, you're not. No, you're not. You have to be able to go somewhere where you fit. DJ found that out expeditiously when you go through several quarterback battles when it's a total sham, because if you're in a quarterback battle, that means they really trying to get you out of there. They're trying to get you out of there, and they're forming the offense around the guy you're competing with. That's the biggest joke in about quarterback competitions. They form the offense around the other guy. That's why you're thrown in there to try to test out the best and worst parts of it. So I do think that um, it's an interesting dynamic, but you see it work out for players as well. You see it work out for a Hendon Hooker who started at a Virginia Tech, who had to transfer over to a Tennessee where the system was better fitting for him. And you start to see, oh, he can actually throw pretty well. Oh, he got an arm on him. Oh, he's pretty accurate. Oh, he's pretty poised in the pocket. You look at his Virginia Tech film, he's out there read optioning and running around, not making the right reads and all type of stuff. So it definitely could be fit. Look at Joe Burrow. The Ohio State situation didn't work out. Goes to LSU with a bunch of talent, with the right offensive coordinator in Joe Brady, and took 2 years and really became a master of it enough to have one of the best, probably one of the best, if not the best seasons of all time in college football. So I think a lot goes for, the challenges of why fit is important. And when you find your fit, we might see a different DJ. He might put his name in the top 5 quarterbacks for next year. It's gonna be a tough top 5, but he
This
might.
is
Michael
something he
Jr. did it.
this is something he touched on. This is something he touched on. He grew up. Now imagine this. We pointed out the relationship with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, right? Always being 1 and 2 as they came up through the ranks. Well, there was another person that actually made it a trio of guys that were from California that were close friends with those guys, and that's DJ Uagalele. And he went back to his roots and worked out with them while he was making his decision prior to them going to the NFL draft and watching guys that you grew up with who were your contemporaries, who you felt like you were just as good as and as talented as, matriculate to the NFL, and here after your third year, you're having to change schools and kind of rebuild yourself and rebuild your brand and the view that scouts have about you as a quarterback going to the NFL. And, just to reiterate, Bruce Feldman, great article, spent 3 days with DJ Uagalele. Um, and the article's on the Athletic right now. He said when he picked Oregon State, he said, I didn't really care about anything. There's only one reason why I'm going there, and that's to play football. It doesn't need to be a big city. I can have 10 people there. As long as there's going to be a football on the field, that's going to be fine with me. When asked about what happened. Now, this is just how quickly, because I'm going to say something, and I want to see if you pick up on it, Left. He had the same offensive coordinator that was there with Trevor Lawrence his freshman year. He gets there. He comes into Notre Dame, and Trevor Lawrence is out for COVID against Notre Dame on the road. No one in the stands, really. But he steps onto the big stage as a freshman quarterback, true freshman, and breaks the Clemson freshman passing record for yardage in a game at Notre Dame. He sets the expectations for his career right there, right? Trevor Lawrence comes back the next week, and of course, they go on to go into the playoffs. They come back next year with a brand new offensive coordinator. They don't go and get somebody that is credible from outside the program. They elevate from within the program. And Brandon Streeter comes in and totally changes the system and the offense that Clemson has been successful with. He goes from making checks at the line of scrimmage as a freshman and learning how to play as an NFL quarterback. Same system that made Trevor Lawrence successful. Now he's looking to the sideline, getting his checks from Brandon Streeter and coaches. And he feels like the offense was watered down. This is what he had to say. I didn't want to do what I was doing at Clemson. I didn't really like what we did there scheme wise. I didn't think we did very much. I thought it was very basic. It didn't help me out as a quarterback and play to my strengths. I wanted to go somewhere that would go play to my strengths and go help me go somewhere that could develop. I wanted to go somewhere that would play to my strengths and go somewhere that would develop me for the NFL. Play action, work on the center, throw the deep ball. Do you realize Clemson, the last 2 years, has been in shotgun 92% of snaps Left? 92%. That's as opposed to Oregon State, which is 41%.
Pretty balanced.
Yeah. So it just goes back to, like you said, fit, man. But to this young man's credit, he was forced to change in the midst of his career at the most important part of his career when he was about to take over for Trevor Lawrence going into his sophomore year. Now you're asking him to run a totally different offense. That's tough. So a lot of times when we look at the narratives surrounding these young men that have to transfer, it's, oh, you failed. Oh, you didn't want to compete with Cade Klubnik. It's like, no, I came to Clemson under the guise that I was going to be developed like Trevor Lawrence, and that got changed immediately in my sophomore year. I tried to make it work, and I can't do it anymore. I just can't. I have to go find a place where I can develop the way I wanted to be developed when I first came to Clemson.
Yeah, and that's fair because at the end of the day, Clemson is not going to change what they're doing for you. They made changes around what your strengths were. Clearly, I mean, obviously, if they wanted you there, they wouldn't have made a total 180 from what you were accustomed to or what was winning. I think sometimes coaches overthink the process and make it too challenging. And it is interesting that the story of what happened to DJ, of how they promoted a guy in-house and he ended up changing the offense, how that's an interesting storyline because sometimes you can be going too hard at trying to make something look different when you're running the same thing. And like Tyler Buckner said, they slimmed down on a lot of stuff. Like DJ said, they watered down a lot of stuff. that they were doing, and it goes from going more complicated to more simple, but the
Mm-hmm.
simple is too basic,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not able to operate at a high level. You became figured out, and now you go back to 2015 play calling where we're just saying we're gonna run right and left, but we're just
Mm-hmm.
more talented, so we're gonna make it work. So hopefully, it's not like that. Hopefully, it's complex enough to where Sam Hartman can give us some of that 12,000-yard pass, and he was doing at Wake Forest. I think that would look good in a Notre Dame jersey as well.
So, it is very interesting to say the least. Um, you go from the combination of, I would say, Chad Morris was really jumped it off as far as the Clemson offense taking that next step with your boy, who you give a lot of credit to before Deshaun Watson got there, the OG as far as Clemson quarterbacks.
Todd
And
Hoyt,
yes, sir. And then Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott, they were co OCs from 15 to 19. And then Elliott kind of took over. And then right after that, I think Elliott ended up getting his own job. And then Brandon Streeter took over. So, like you said, the transition was, it's tough to be asked to do something totally different as a sophomore than you did as a freshman.
yeah, that's true.
It just is. It just is. So I just thought that we could, the one thing that stood out is the process of having an opportunity to do a OC search nationwide and eventually to promote from within. It did not work for Dabo. Marcus Freeman finds himself in the same predicament, left.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I'm reading the story about DJ and I'm like, I'm like, would I feel more comfortable if things had gone the way we thought they were going to go in that hiring process? I can't sit here and tell you no. I would be lying.
Be lying, man.
I would be lying. I would flat out be lying to you. Right? We know who the other candidate was. There's no need to dig old things up. If that had followed through and that's who we were dealing with right now, yes, I would feel far more comfortable as a fan of what the offense was going to do.
Yeah,
Hiring from within and having Jared Parker, we wait and see. We wait and see.
we definitely wait and see, but I think Jared Parker is doing the right steps as a guy coming in trying to rejuvenate an offense that has a lot of potential but needs to be let out of his box, if you would say, in terms of showing that potential on the field. I think he has a great key
Mm,
with Sam Hartman to unlock that box, but he has to be able to put the key in the right configuration to get the box unlocked. Is Sam the right key? Well, we lost the other master key, you
mm.
know. So right now with Sam Hartman, it's just we gotta open this box up. But if we do, I think we'll be in the right spots that we need to get us over that hump. Right now, we on that 9 and 4 type of hill where we're just stuck at that middle of the road. Are we gonna get over or are we gonna fall down the hill? So I think this is the time to really see the trajectory of the next couple of years, because I do think this year will affect recruiting in the sense of, is Marcus Freeman really the right man for the position? Obviously, they're going to question that if we have another 8-9 win season, but I do think that recruiting is going to be impacted based on those 3 games that we have. I think those to high recruits, um, even Justin Scott wants to see what we look like against an Ohio State, against a Clemson, against an SC. teams that are relevant, because I think what's so crazy is that you look at teams like Michigan, you have to wait to the end of the year to see if their season is validated, because every other game is boring to watch,
Right.
or not uh not against a team that's of relevance. We're playing teams of relevance damn near every week. And I mean, look, we're playing Pitt and Duke and Northwestern, and Pitt and Duke and Northwestern putting in first rounders. Like, I mean, that's crazy. So relevancy, I think we're in the right space for that. And these recruits want to see relevant games won. I think if we beat Ohio State, Cardinal would be on our team, in my opinion. So that's just what I think.
Oh man, don't threaten me with a good time. Cardell Tate as a wide receiver for Notre Dame. Cardell Tate would start this
Yes,
year.
yes, he would start this year.
He would be
Absolutely.
the starting wide receiver this year if he
Yes.
played for Notre Dame. Just he would start. Lucky Lefty podcast. So now we talked about DJ. We talked about the importance of fit. We talked the impact of Jared Parker being hired from within. What to look out for. Now let's get to Notre Dame and the new roles we have coming from everything and all these transfers that are taking place. I don't know if a certain player is ready to be what he didn't think he was going to have to be just 2 weeks earlier, right before the blue and gold game. We'll ask Left what he has to think about it. That's next right here, the audio edible of the day, Lucky Lefty podcast. We spin it different. So Left transfers, right? You pointed out something very important. We're talking new roles at Notre Dame. I don't know if Jared Parker thought he would be the OC at Notre Dame
No,
this year.
no,
So when he took the job as a tight end coach, right?
I did not.
He didn't think it would come that fast.
Well, I
No,
mean, look at his track record. He's known for sticking around teams for a good amount of time and then transitioning somewhere else. So maybe he looked at it like Notre Dame is, and that's the stepping stone. He's like, man, a couple years in Notre Dame, I can get a head coach job somewhere.
yeah, yeah. So it's amazing, but there's one person that we're going to jump into that I think is probably in his dorm room, like, okay, this is a great opportunity, but man, I didn't think it was coming. I didn't think it was coming right now. Before we do that, remember, YouTube, subscribe, smash that like button. It helps with the views, right? Leave your comments. We respond to all. And then go to CFB Nation on your Android or your iPhone, right? Apple Podcast, Spotify. Search CFB Nation. All of our great content. We give you the audio edible each and every day when the home of the misguided passion. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. All up in your area. You already know. We spin it different. I think Steve Angeli's heart is beating a little bit different today, Left.
Yeah, he's probably feeling a
He,
little more inspired getting up every morning.
hey, bro, when you think you probably have another year. Like, man, I probably got another year to kind of chill, learn the playbook, hold my spot, come in early next fall, next winter after the bowl game, and really go at it. Really might have a chance to start. Maybe I can challenge Tyler then, and then all of a sudden, boom. Hey, bro, you one play away each week from being in the game. You got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to win games.
Yeah.
My man's heart is beating a little bit different right now in the month of May than it was early in the month of April. And that's just how quickly things can change and roles can change on a football team. Let's talk about Steve Angeli and what's on his mind right now, because that playbook probably hits a little bit different right now.
Yeah, I mean, for Steve Angeli, his mindset going into fall camp is different, or it should be. And I think a lot of that has to serve him well in the sense that you need to be on your P's and Q's, because now your window's even smaller because Kenny Minchie passed you up. There is no coming back. And so for him, being prepared at any moment because Sam, like you said, is Chicken Little a little bit. He's a lot skinnier in frame than I had expected at first. So I think it's going to be interesting if he doesn't stay healthy. What is the backup plan for Notre Dame? Do we have a plan, and do we feel comfortable on going to Kenny by the time November comes and transitioning to that? Because at the end of the day, Sam's a 1-year dude. So this fall camp is going to resonate for the summer moving forward. But it does give Angeli a lot of light and staying positive that he's one play away, honestly. I mean, if it happened today, he's one play away. So it's going to be important to get him up to speed and offer them scout team reps and actually into an offense. And, he got a chance to shine in the bowl game last year, running some second team or whatever. But, Angeli is only in my perspective, is only exposing how lack of talent we had at the QB position when Tommy was here on not the start or the non-starters. The non-starters had so much lack of talent that it worries us, obviously, now that Steve Angeli's in the pocket because everybody's like, well, he's not that good. But it's going to be interesting to see how he transitions and improves himself in fall camp.
So let me just ask you a question because you just really made me think about something. This man recruited Tyler Buckner, Drew Pine, and Steve Angeli back to back to back.
Wait, say it one more time.
Tommy Reese recruited Tyler Buckner, Drew Pine, Tyler Buckner, and Steve Angeli back to back to back. Now, wait, let me ask you a question, Left.
It's more though.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. I'm just going to stop right there. Was he trying to recruit to fit his offense, which makes me even think less of his offense? You know what I'm saying? Or did he just miss on recruiting at the position altogether? Like, make it make sense, Left. Make it make sense.
He recruited the Old Dominion transfer dude. What's his name? Brendan something?
Oh, Clark.
Exactly,
Brendan Clark.
Exactly. Who is that? He recruited him. He recruited Drew. He recruited Tyler, and he recruited Pine.
Angeli. And Pine.
And Angeli. Oh, goodness.
Oh, and he recruited Phil Jacobic as well.
And Phil didn't even stay long enough to play.
Well, so Phil didn't rock with him, but we'll leave that.
Phil didn't rock with him. So he recruited a guy that didn't rock with him. And 4 other guys, because I'll give Tyler some credit. Still improving. 4 other guys that we know in a vacuum. I'm not picking first if I had to choose for dodgeball.
Yeah.
So what type of talent was you? What offense did you? In my opinion, he recruited the talent he saw in himself in those guys. I don't believe Tommy, and is even a prime example, can recruit talent that's better than the talent that he had on the field. All them people at Alabama, you got to get Tyler Buckner from at school. You can't find a starter with all that talent at Alabama in your quarterback room. For real? For real.
Or he was unwilling to change what he wants to do to fit the talent that exists at Alabama in the quarterback room.
Hey, that makes sense if he has the speed and tenacity to get a guy from another school that he left and transfer in a matter of a week.
Yeah.
Tyler Buck didn't even take no more other visits.
Yeah.
He went straight down there and Tommy was like, hey, this is my guy. We running it my way. Tyler knows what we doing. I'm not about to coach these other dudes my first year and get myself exposed. So I don't know.
Now,
and he got Jack Cone when he could have had a bunch of other more talent.
Well, Jack Cone, now that we look at it, might have been more of a Brian Kelly call, seeing that Tyler was his recruit and Brian Kelly was unwilling to ride out with Tyler. And Brian Kelly was like, "Yo, I have to go get me a veteran quarterback."
Because I'm sick of watching you recruit these guys that can't play on the day they come to campus.
Yeah, yeah,
All these projects.
yeah,
I ain't gonna give me a finished one, especially I'm about to be out of here and chase this 100 million.
yeah.
Get this winning this coach.
That's it's amazing because Andrew Gilmore, as always, man. Thank you for joining us. He says, I agree. He also made the safe offers until Dante Moore. He never pushed for someone who could transfer or form a team. Okay, let's get this out of the way, Left, because you took a lot of heat last summer because of your relationship with Dante Moore and his dad. You took a lot of heat for some comments that you made that when speaking to Dante Moore, you spoke to him as someone that was a confidant and a friend rather than someone that was a former Notre Dame quarterback as far as what to do and what's the right fit for him. A lot of Notre Dame fans were upset at you for a couple of days. They got over it. But thinking about what you're talking about today, is that something that you regret or do you stand by, kind of getting that young man to look in a different direction, even though it wasn't your conversation that made things. Oh wow! Breaking news. This is dude. I have to break in with this. According to SI.com, the Memphis Grizzlies have told Dylan Brooks he will not return. You know what? That's great. That's absolutely great. They finally got it. They finally got it. But no, Left. Like I said, Notre Dame fans were upset that you heart to heart, you had a heart to heart with Dante and his dad. But the I guess what I wanted, did you feel like you were saving him from Tommy in that conversation?
Absolutely, because the way Tommy recruited CJ, that's on the man's team, that's the man's backup in the same state, right down the street, get him to commit before the other dude commits. That's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff. So anybody with empathy towards if that was your son, I'm not going there. How? Why would you subject yourself to a situation where your backup committed to the school you supposed to go to in cahoots with the guy that's supposed to bring you there? In cahoots. Because my thing is, why would you commit so fast and I ain't even commit yet? Wouldn't you be worried if I was going to commit there that you was going to go there too? You already my backup, but you committed there first because he must have told you something. He must have told you something. So I'm not putting up with that. If I was Dante's dad, I'm like, listen, why would we even want to deal with that? When we can go to get these shoes at Oregon, take these officials out the state, and see what happens.
Well, it was just one of those things that, and I can't sit here and say I wouldn't be frustrated with a young man that I will say this. Dante Moore and his people were very open with how they were going to handle things. They were very upfront in saying, we're committed to you, but we're going to continue to take official visits and continue to look at what other programs can offer. It got to a point where I guess Tommy Reese and Notre Dame were frustrated. And look, they're well within their rights to be frustrated.
But
But
that
you
goes back
felt
to
like,
not fit. It goes back to fit. I don't want to go somewhere where they frustrated with me and doing things in the shadows behind my back to the point where you done got my back up. Like, okay, I can understand if they recruited a kid and he was at Kansas City or something. Them boys went to the year below me, same state, same team, and got him to commit over me. That don't even no, no, no.
Well,
And
see,
it's like, dude,
this
that's spiteful. That's like some jealous girlfriend stuff.
this look.
It's
I
like,
I respect everybody that does. And Steve Wilfong and I have history because when I was a producer and I was thinking about transitioning into college football, he was the first person that I rubbed shoulders with in a recruiting game. So I have profound respect for Steve Wilfong. So when Andrew says great point, but Wilfong tried to say that Moore told Indy that they were trending away, so Reese felt it was necessary to take the verbal from Carr. Look,
you hear that? Reese felt.
we had inside info.
You
We
hear that?
had insider info. But go ahead.
Reese felt. That's the problem. Reese felt like that, not Marcus Freeman. And that was how you feeling like that. And then Marcus Freeman, like, I didn't even know you was doing that.
Mm,
How you making decisions like that?
mm.
That's the problem.
Now I will say this: Marcus kind of he's the head coach, so he kind of had to sign off.
Once he already did the deed,
But it was things were already in motion. So
you're like, all right, well, let me put my name on it because y'all
yeah,
making these moves without me.
yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. Like, but I'm just pointing out that
That's
situations in recruiting can get extremely messy,
petty.
man,
Petty.
right? And I felt at the time that Notre Dame fans are being, and you stared them down, left. You like, I don't care what you have to say. Like, I'm not about to tell this young man to
That's
go
like
be a part of that bull crap.
earlier grade was trying to get with you and you didn't know if you wanted to date or not, and you making your decisions. You in high school, you like, man, I'm trying to see what's out there. I like you. You on the top of my list, but I'm just trying to, I'm
Right.
only 14. And then she go to your younger brother. And then you like, what are you, my younger brother though?
No, look, this is the crazy thing, left. The moment you had to, there's no way the parent of CJ Carr allow CJ Carr to commit unless guarantees have been talked about.
They had to have been told, look.
Dude, if Dante Moore signs with Notre Dame, CJ Carr is sitting on the bench for 3 years. CJ Carr is nowhere near the thrower of the football as Dante Moore. It's not close. It's just not. It's not close.
Committed there because he was guaranteed.
The guarantees happen. And the conversation with Dante did take place after the news broke. However, Dante is looking at the situation like, yo, if you already took his commit, then you already guaranteed him something.
Something. That if I come, I ain't gonna play, he gonna play. Because why would CJ commit a year early? Like, golly.
So that
You
is
just got interest from Notre Dame. So how you commit within a week of getting interest?
so basically the mishandling. This all points out and sums up what we were talking about, the mishandling of the quarterback situation by Tommy Rees at Notre Dame. And it has us to a point to where now I'm flat out going to tell you, I don't feel comfortable with the backup quarterback. I don't just want a quarterback backing up games that's okay. Like, I need somebody coming in that I'm excited to see play. That's like if Mac Jones had gotten hurt. Here comes Bryce Young on the field. Alabama fans would have been like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
Get a Heisman sitting on the bench.
It's time. Let's go.
They had a Heisman first pick of the draft sitting on the bench.
You know, and this is
Sitting
a
on
new
the
role,
bench.
man.
Sitting on the bench. A Heisman first pick of the draft. That's how good Alabama got it.
Yeah, man.
4 years of first, second round drafted quarterbacks, and each year had a Heisman potential Heisman winner sitting on the bench behind the guy going 12-0 getting drafted.
Yeah. So
That's what quarterback room looked like.
I'll tell you somebody else that's looking at things a little bit different. Drake Bowen and Jay Nosberry, who probably came in with the mindset, we're going to play special teams this year. Press Colley leaves. I expect some other things to happen in the linebacker core. Not particularly transfers, but maybe position switches. Drake Bowen could be number two on the depth chart,
Mm,
right? Jaden Osbury could be right behind Jalen Sneed
mm.
on the depth chart at some point this season. Like the fact that your true freshman linebackers are talented enough and could be ready to go at some point during the season, that's a whole new role. that's that's something new, especially at that position at Notre Dame. Left.
Yeah, it gives signs of a young football team, especially in that aspect with them being the two deep. But it also gives them the opportunity to get on the field early and really start uh, putting some inroads into what this class can really be for Marcus Freeman, but as well as for themselves. I mean, they came in looking the part. Now they just got to get an opportunity to play the part. But you know, one thing with these guys leaving, they're going to get on the field at some point. So
Mm.
making the most out of it and being in position to make the most out of it, which means getting more reps, I think is coming their way. And I think both of those guys are mature enough and have the physicality enough to be all right if they did eventually get some time.
Yeah, and I feel good, right? I love the fact that both of them got a lot of run in the blue and gold game, a lot of run, and it's almost like Max Bullock, who I felt like was a very sneaky hire from Alabama. To get him to come from Alabama and teaching those linebackers, to get him to come to Notre Dame, I think he's a much better teacher and recruiter than James Laurinaitis. And with Laurinaitis going to Ohio State, of course, you lose Peyton Pierce as a recruit. You know, he probably would have committed to Notre Dame, but so what? You know, Notre Dame is about to hit a Notre Dame is about to hit a stretch in the next month or so where recruiting for them is going to pick up steam. You've already seen two commitments this week. Another one might be coming within the next 48 hours, and you might get even more going throughout the month of May. So let me tell you something. Notre Dame's in good shape, and I love the fact that it seems like roles are starting to change. Let me ask you something though, and I tweeted this out yesterday. And I tweeted it out just to see the comments that I would get, because I thought the comments would make it very interesting content for today's show. A 5-star wide receiver from St. Louis who was linked to CJ Carr early on in this process, Ryan Wingo. He said, I'm not too much into NIL. I want to get to the next level, the NFL. That's my biggest goal. NIL is just kind of short term money. And I'm more focused on programs that would develop me for the NFL. So I retweeted this and I said, man, is this saying something? Like, we get Isaiah Canyon, fantastic. I got Cam Williams. He committed right after the Irish invasion last summer. So he's been in the fold for over a year or coming up on a year. Cam Williams just became a 5-star. Ryan Wingo has been considered for a long time the number one wide receiver in the class, if not number one, top three. When you hear these top wide receivers talk about development, this is something that Notre Dame is going to have to change because it is not known as a school that develops wide receivers for the NFL right now. It's just not. But it's hard to develop. This is my point. It's hard to develop wide receivers for the NFL when the quarterback situation is being what it's been.
Absolutely.
That's all I want to piece together. That's all I want to piece together. It's pretty hard to develop wide receivers with the quarterback situation being what it's been.
Because it's a dependent position, and we've been dependent on quarterbacks that I thought Jack Cohn did a good job. You know, we just didn't have, for what Notre Dame is as a program traditionally, we didn't have that guy. You know, it's been a long time since Brady Quinn played. You know, it's been
Yeah,
a long time since Brady Quinn played. So he's still the poster child of the quarterback room. And I think even USC got a new face, Caleb Williams, in recent history. Last one was Matt Leinart. That's around Brady Quinn's time.
yeah,
So it was right around time for Notre Dame to get a new face. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
yeah. And going back to, like I said, there's always a method to our madness, right? We're not just dredging up the Dante Moore situation. We're connecting it to the conversation we're talking about as far as the quarterback room and how the role of Steve Angeli has totally changed, right? His heartbeat, without a doubt, has gone up because I'm sure it is falling on his shoulders and in his mind as he sits in his dorm room, like,
Oh, you said it's in his mind?
man, like, oh, I'm next. Like, I'm next. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is, bro. Like when you're sitting on the bench and you're not playing unless you lose two quarterbacks. It takes two quarterbacks getting
I
hurt.
was different. I was different. I was different.
That's because you're a dog, left.
But it matters because, you know, for a guy like Angeli, I would love for him to take advantage of this opportunity and really look at it like you one play away because who knows? Who knows? But I do
Yeah,
think that this is another chance where this is your last chance.
yeah,
And if you can't hold this down because the chips fell in your pieces, chips fell in your favor. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
mm,
Look like Rutgers is gonna have a new QB in 25 if you don't stop playing.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it's there has to be some pressure in that wide receiver room, left. Like, I think it's undue pressure for people to expect. Like, I have a bet with one of our fans that has said Tobias Merriweather's going to put up 80 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Right? Why would you want him to have to do that? Why? Why would you want him to have the pressure to have to do that? Why? 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 Why can't it just be a natural? Now you do realize Devontae Smith was on the bench watching other wide receivers at Alabama put in work. He didn't just come in and just start. Like he was actually on the bench watching other receivers put in work, and then all of a sudden he shows up in the championship game in a big moment with Tua, and next thing you know, career takes off. But it wasn't until the end of his freshman year where he was kind of ready to go. And I wish Tobias Merriweather had that experience, but whether it's through injury or quarterback play, there was no development for Tobias Merriweather as a freshman. Where was the in-game development left? He
only got 2 receptions all season. That's terrible.
where was the development? So
I got
now
in hindsight.
we're supposed to believe that he's going from pretty much no development in season to that dude.
What we do know is that he's healthy.
That's it. Andrew Gilmore, you stole our thunder. Deion Colzie has to have a ton of pressure on his shoulders, bro. He has to be a guy. He has to turn into a dude that makes big plays. He has to be.
Sam's gonna unlock it. We're gonna see if Sam can unlock it because sometimes also you need a quarterback to give you a chance with the football. Some guys got touch and some don't. Some, they make the easiest passes feel like the hardest. And then they got guys like others that Kenny Minchie. They can put that thing right where I can jump for it or have the range for it or continue on the run or over the shoulder. So the type of quarterback that you're with will highlight the type of success that you have and what skills you have. Maybe Deion Colzie's an over-the-shoulder guy. Maybe he's a guy that likes the 50-50 that Sam gives chances for. Maybe JT is better catching in traffic on third down because he's a bigger body. Maybe, we can push it down the field for some of our other guys to catch on the run. So, we're gonna find out the range in which Sam has and how it affects our receivers, success in their position.
Yeah. So because we went and looked at what it was Will as a freshman, really did nothing. Sophomore, I think he ended up with 17 catches or something small, and then next thing you know, he blows up. Right? And that should be the natural maturation of a wide receiver at a big time school. Your 3 freshmen, it's real cute and fun that we're all in the chat saying, oh man, I think Great House could do this. And I think Rico could do this. And I think Braylon could do this. So it's Notre Dame. They shouldn't have to. That's the point. But you're in a year where you're fully you need them. Somebody out of that group has to make an impact.
Yeah.
You need them. They have to. It's not like, oh snap. It's not like, well, I don't want to, let's say a freshman wide receiver comes in at Washington left. They don't need that freshman wide receiver, bro. Hey,
At
man,
all.
at all.
Not this year.
Not this year. They don't need him.
He be better off, focusing on his books, getting ahead in school, getting bigger in the weight room because they do not need him. Not with them boys up there.
Yeah, man. It is crazy because as excited as we are about the freshman wide receivers, at the same time, the wide receiver position is more nuanced, man. It's like, and I know people, people get, beside themselves sometimes about some of the things we say, right, on here. And we're just not afraid to speak what is our truth about certain situations, man. It's not. Jaden Thomas is going to be better. Hopefully, Deion Colzie is better. But we talked about, from our vantage point, we don't know if we have a so-called dog in the wide receiver room right now that has done it per se. Like out of the three freshmen, we think two of them are dogs,
Yeah.
but they haven't done it.
No.
So I wonder how those freshmen feel. Like how do those freshmen feel? Do they feel like normal freshmen where I'm just coming in and because we don't have a freshman now, see, from a skill set, Braylon James would be the one if he was as advanced as a wide receiver. If he came in and pulled a Cardell Tate, I would be like, okay,
Mm.
just from a skill set. But it's going to be interesting, man. But I will say this.
That's interesting you say that. That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Because the
That's,
guys like Jay Greathouse is not an over the top, take the top off the. He's not.
but Jayden Greyhouse is no different than Jalen Thomas.
They're pretty much the same.
They're the same player, just different ages.
Yeah.
We don't have a Jalen Hyatt who can run past people and get over the top. Like Tennessee got the right type of tall, fast dude. Their
Like,
receivers be the same size as ours, but they all be skinny and fast.
yeah.
We get the wholesome dude. He just be a wholesome possession Anquan Bolden type of guy. A lot of potential.
Yeah.
Test fast, but looks heavy on the field. Even Michael Mayer was heavy. Heavy dude. Josh Adams was heavy dude. Claypool, heavy dude. Tested fast, heavy dude. EQ, tall dude.
Yeah.
Didn't play fast, tested fast. You know, Miles tested fast, heavy dude. Didn't play fast, but tested a 4.4. Shit was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Solano gets all the big plays, all the deep balls. I don't know how that happens.
Look, man, let me tell you something. As we get ready to close and transition to what has been a big name recruiting, I would say, weekend, extended weekend for Notre Dame. I think there's even more pressure on Sam Hartman. I think there was a sigh of, I don't even think there was a sigh of relief from Sam Hartman because he always knew he was the starter.
Yes.
But there is no buffer, my man.
No. Yeah. You want yeah, that's the thing. You're the one and only dude.
This is all you, bro.
Yeah, here's the keys of Ferrari. Be back by midnight.
This is all you, bro. This is all you. This is everything you asked for.
Yeah, and some.
You're about to go into the fall. You're about to get 70% of the snaps, which now with him getting 70% of the snaps and Angeli's getting less, can Angeli really be ready?
No, we're not even banking on that.
That's another question.
We're not banking on Steven Angeli.
Please get him some snaps during these early games, Notre Dame. Please get him some snaps during these early games in September.
TSU, he should be taking the second half.
Oh, absolutely. 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 So, congratulations to Notre Dame legacy, Bryce Young, son of Hall of Famer Bryant Young, who committed to Notre Dame on Saturday afternoon. And now, congratulations to
legacy for that. Start that legacy train. Spelling good for my kids.
Man, it's always good to dig into the bloodline of Hall of Famers, Left.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on.
Always.
Worst that can happen.
Always.
Hall of Famer son. That went
I don't give a darn if Kennedy Urlacher is a 3-star.
don't care.
That man's that his bloodline.
Look at Antoine Winfield Jr. that went to Minnesota. That can be
Absolutely.
like us.
Absolutely.
Us.
And he was a 3-star as well, right?
Went to Minnesota 3-star, but flashed, had all
Man.
the skills.
Now I do see a possibility of Kennedy Urlacher putting on weight and transitioning to rover rather than safety.
Mm.
He plays such a physical game, Left.
Mm.
He plays like his dad.
Mm.
He plays the game with such physicality, man, that I can really see him possibly transitioning to rover. So now you put his speed at rover. Now you're cooking with grease. You know, so I see people questioning him being a 3-star. So what? Will Fuller was a 3-star. What's your point?
Hey, questions in at that right there.
Either the film, Brandon Hillman was a 3-star to certain people. Then all of a sudden Notre Dame got on him and he was a 4-star. Notre Dame didn't get on Brandon Hillman until like the middle of the season last year, bro. All he had was HBCU offers. Think about that.
You know how they do us.
So
you know how they do us over there.
It's crazy how recruiting goes, man. You have to continue to grind as a recruiter. You have to continue to watch film. That's why Notre Dame will continue to add offers to the 24 class and the 25 class, especially in this period. And then when the season starts, they still have to watch more film, Left. But there are kids out there that are putting out great senior tape that have taken the next step. And you want to be able to get in on those guys. So it's all about the talent. Forget the stars. Is the talent there?
Is the talent there? That's right.
Is the talent there? We had a great interview that we did with I'm drawing a blank. Former Notre Dame safety Jeff Burris.
Yes.
Who's now a coach for the Louisiana Cajuns, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he saw Bryce Young as a freshman and called his pops and was like, yo, what's up? And his pops said, nah. His pops had a vision. Like, nah, we're waiting for the big dogs. It's going to take him some time because I think his son at that point in time was right at 200. So he had yet to fill out. But man, you know, it's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about this is that guys that that you truly know need some time to develop. How much time do you invest into that if you're Marcus Freeman? I think that's just one of the things that you have to balance is what does it look like to develop but also having access to the transfer portal every year, at every moment. You're always recruiting it.
Yeah.
It's almost a myth. Like, I don't have to get better. I can just get better players because I'm at Notre Dame. If I was at Cisco State, I got heavy on development because we might not get everybody. You had a situation where we pulled the number one quarterback out of the transfer portal because we needed him. So what do you think we can do if we needed somebody else, right?
Yeah.
We pulled the number one transfer quarterback out of the transfer portal and kicked Alabama a quarterback that we had in the room we didn't think it was good enough. That's crazy.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I just think Left the trend of film over for staff, in my opinion. I think Oklahoma and Bob Stoops, when he first got there, he said they went crazy on 3 stars and JUCOs.
Yeah, hey, JUCO used to be the wave back in the day.
right? 3 stars in JUCOs because they knew everybody else would be vying for, and their program, Oklahoma, could not fight for the 5 stars at that point.
JUCOs used to be the wave.
So they went another way because there was talent there. And people want to act like, dude, there's talent everywhere. You know how many young kids play football?
A lot.
That's talent. You know how many schools put people into the NFL?
A ton.
A ton. And we talked about fit today. What's the right fit? What's the right situation? You know, it's crazy. Lucky Lefty podcast. On top of that, we need to recognize the coaches being back on the road is very important. Like I said, you'll see more offers. Um, some coaches are out west. Spent a lot of time in the Midwest on the first, on the second. They're spread out, go down south, go out west, get to some of these other kids in the 24 and 25 class. And then ultimately, we're going to see Notre Dame start to get ready for Irish invasion in June, which is going to be vitally important for the 25 class, and then start preparing for that kick of official visits in the month of June, which is going to be crazy. It's going to
Mhm.
be crazy. And yeah, this is that push, man. This is where Notre Dame builds up momentum and kind of takes over in recruiting as compared to Georgia and Alabama that really wait to that last kick late in the fall.
Yeah, they're one of those. They're like how these NBA agents do. They just wait to the end and throw you a bunch of money to sign with them, and it skips out all the relationships the smaller guys build all the way up to that point. So they recruit a little different. Whereas I think we have a good space in where we recruit early. We go visit guys, and we're in that honest transition phase where we're going to tell you what we need, what you can and can't do for us, and go from there. And I think it's helpful in that aspect to really build those relationships because Marcus Freeman is building a reputation in college football that puts some respect on Notre Dame recruiting. That if Marcus Freeman is coming to town, it's serious. He's not just flying any and everywhere, and his offers and commitments are serious also. So it's not a halfway commitment. We're just trying to be your first offer, or we're trying to just show you love to keep you away from somebody else. If you indecisive, don't commit yet because it might not work out for you if you try to be flip floppy. So
Man,
I think that helps change the perspective of Notre Dame going forward.
did you say flip floppy, bro?
Yeah, it can't be flip floppy.
I think when it comes to recruiting, and specifically Notre Dame, I think people need to. I'm not going to tell people to relax because fans can be the fans they want to be. You can be as hyper as a fan as you want to be. If you're the chill fan, cool. If you're the hyper fan that lives on the word of every recruiting analyst and every board post and all of that, then that's fine as well. I don't show, man, we appreciate you as well. You're just as important. But I will say this everyone has an opinion, man,
Yeah.
right? So I don't have an opinion, or I have no thoughts. Like when people ask me about what Steve Wilfong said about Justice Scott, I don't look. I wasn't part of his conversation that he had with the young man. I was too busy laughing it up about the Chicago Bulls and the Sacramento Kings with Justice Scott last week. I wasn't worried when I saw the little crystal ball
Hmm.
because he had already told me about the trip to Miami. And not one word he said made me feel like, oh my God, Notre Dame is losing ground. Not one word. I can't speak for anybody else's conversation. I know the conversation I had. Not one word made me feel like, oh my God, Notre Dame is in trouble because of the Miami Hurricanes.
I wouldn't be worried. What has Miami done worth committing to them over us? You know.
At some point, there has to be some logic here, right? There's always a team that wasn't on the list that shows a lot of love, and Miami is coming from the rear, having to do any and everything to even get on the list of officials. And they're still not on the list of officials. But I know who Justice Scott spoke to Friday. I know who Justice Scott has been continually speaking to. It's like, man, it's the game of recruiting. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't look. Kudos to Miami for doing as terrible as the end of their recruiting went, losing because of their NIL collective and how it basically fell apart. They should be doing any and everything to secure guys like Justice Scott.
That's right.
And I don't know if people know this. Chicago is the second largest alumni chapter of the University of Miami in the nation.
Mm.
Yep, it's number 2 for that university. So, you know,
One of those things.
you know. So it doesn't shock me that, bags of money might be showing up.
Might be.
It wouldn't shock me at all. You
It might
know,
be though too now.
it wouldn't all. Already I got a phone call from Jared Payton, and I told him he's not coming, bro. Like, oh, what you mean? Like, he's not coming.
Hmm.
Like, y'all can do what you want to do.
I
Do
agree.
everything. Do everything you want to do. He's not coming, bro.
Hmm. Tell him.
No. See, they want him to be their version of Russell Maryland, because Russell Maryland was the big time recruit that set everything off for
That's
that
right.
run defensively.
That's right.
He was the dude from Chicago in the middle. Shout out to Russell Maryland, big time Red West, Whitney Young High School,
Shout out.
Chicago. They got him to leave Chicago, come down there, and all of a sudden that Canes defense took off.
Yeah, they did.
They're trying to get Justice Scott to be the same. No, no, no.
No, no, no.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Shoot all your bullets. Shoot all your bullets. At the end of the day, this is my prediction, and I could be wrong, right? You remember that scene from Harlem Nights where
Yep.
Arsenio Hall was chasing Eddie because they
Uh-huh.
felt like, Eddie Murphy had killed his brother,
Uh-huh.
right? And they had the tummy guns, and they finally caught up to Eddie, and he jumped in the store. At the end of the day, you're going to have Ohio State, you're going to have Notre Dame, and you're going to have Georgia standing there with the tummy guns, like Arsenio Hall, in the month of June, and they're going to
Yeah.
be shooting. Da, 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 da. And you're going to have Miami next to them like, oh boy, pop. Right? And remember, he hit that dude on the head, man, stop shooting that little, stop. Eventually, that's going to be Notre Dame, Ohio State, Georgia to Miami. Stop
That's
shooting
right.
that little crap. Go sit,
You
go
doing
sit
that?
down somewhere.
That's right.
Put
That's
that little,
exactly what it's gonna be.
put that little down. That's
They're
that
gonna do
dude. Ultimately, in my opinion, that's how this is about to go.
100%.
That,
That
that's
is
look. The Tommy guns have yet to shoot.
have yet to shoot. That's
They
right.
yet to shoot, man. They yet to shoot, and when they do, they're gonna look over in Miami, and Mario Cristobal will just say, "Man, if you don't stop with that little,
They're little for real.
you know."
Because you're playing games.
At this point, they're the ones shooting the loudest. Guess why? Because everybody else is chilling and waiting.
Chilling and waiting. Just chilling and waiting.
They're chilling and waiting. Even though the Bears drafted somebody from Miami this year,
Yeah, who'd y'all get? A DN, an edge rusher?
No, they got a cornerback, Stevenson.
Oh yeah.
Stevenson kid. I don't know. They love drafting people with shoulder issues at the defensive back position. I do. This dude needed shoulder surgery. They had to shave his labrum or something crazy. I'm like, dude, Jalen Johnson misses 5 games a year because of his shoulder. Now we want to go get another defensive back with shoulder issues.
You know how y'all do, man.
Oh man, this is crazy, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. And let's see. Uh, you know what? That makes me feel even better, Andrew. I hope Mario Cristobal is the personal recruiter for Justice Scott. I'll take Marcus Freeman over Cristobal any day in that matchup.
Hey,
Any day. Any day. I'll take him in that matchup, left. Lucky Lefty podcast. I think we got to everything left.
yeah, I think we did.
I think we did. So we got some new roles in Notre Dame, some players that might not have expected to go in with as much pressure in fall camp. But hey, my how quickly things have changed.
That's right.
Those players. Great show. The chat live as always. We appreciate you guys. Man, it's good to be able to be with you guys from the road. Left, I went to Waffle House this morning, so I kind of, you know,
How was that masterpiece?
I didn't ask for any turkey products this morning, bro. I already knew walking into Waffle House.
He kicked out that early.
You
Had
know,
to cause a ruckus that early.
you know what I love about the South, though?
What?
Just speaking to people, man.
Yeah, they so
Just
courteous.
just speaking to people, man. Just
Yeah.
man, how y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing? Like, how you doing? Man, like, dude, thank you, man. Because you get to Chicago and the Midwest, sometimes it's like having to
People,
deal with the ice grills and all of that stuff. It's like, dude, man, I didn't go crazy though, left.
no.
No, I went to PJ's Coffee House,
Yep, good place.
dude. If you guys are in New Orleans, PJ's is a New Orleans coffee house, but they have one out in the burbs where we are.
Okay.
They have a you know how you have the ice coffees?
Yes.
They have a frozen hot chocolate
A frozen hot chocolate.
left
That's
because
hold on.
it's always hot,
Hold on
right?
now.
Left
Said a
a
frozen?
frozen hot chocolate drink, bro.
I ain't heard of that.
Left,
Frozen.
man. Hey, if you are ever in New Orleans and it's hot, let me tell you something, bro. Try it out. Try it out. Because if you like hot chocolate and it's 95 degrees, you probably wouldn't want it's like, no, I don't need that. But you get that little frozen hot chocolate to give you the chills, but still give you the taste of the hot chocolate. Ooh, man.
You might have put me on to something now.
Bruh, take a trip to New Orleans, bruh. Just remember, find you PJ's Coffee House. Find PJ's Coffee House. It blessed me, bro. It really did. It blessed me. And then, I didn't really want to sit down and eat because I was cool with PJ's. I got me a blueberry muffin because they do their blueberry muffins every day, so they're fresh. I got me a blueberry muffin and the frozen hot chocolate. And I was straight. But my dad wanted to go sit down and eat, so we went to the Waffle House. And let me tell you something, bro. There's not too many places in this world that you can eat the way they feed, or you can eat the way they feed you for $10.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
That's the only place in the world.
It's amazing. It's amazing, bro. I'm like,
Because you be worried about the bill because you're like, man, that's a lot of food. You be kind of nervous. You get that bill be $10. You're like, did you forget something?
Absolutely.
Discount?
Yes, absolutely.
No, it's $10, bro. For real? I can leave with $10?
Bro. it's so crazy because my father gets the I think the All American, which came with the hash browns, the
All-Star.
grits,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
All Star, the grits.
yeah.
He had the sausage and the toast. And he's sitting there eating, and he's halfway through with his food, and the lady brings his waffle. And he was like, I didn't order a waffle. And she's like, no, it came with the meal. He's like, what? And so he's like, how much was this? And she was like, it was $11.99, sir. It
Mine
just,
all the whole day.
bruh, hey man, hey bro, you can't eat it every day.
No.
But let me tell you something, boy. There's still some good places where $10 takes you a long way in the United
Full,
States.
and really be full like for a good minute now.
Yo, that's why, man, most of the kids that go to HBCUs in the South, you find them at the Waffle House on the weekends, boy.
Hanging out.
Hanging out, because they can eat good and they can share a meal.
And you be there all day.
Man,
All damn day.
all day. He said all day. Beth, you know what time it is, bro.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
and fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's pettiest story? Petty Junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest story of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Hey, might as well put Dylan Brooks on the petty train, bro, but he's up out of there. And I can't, man, he is up out of there, dude. Hey, man, I'm so thankful. Sometimes I'm glad he acted the way he acted this postseason. I really am. Because they got to see, like, you know what? This dude really is trash.
That's
Like
messed up.
he really is trash. We love him. We drafted him, but hey, he has to go to the petty
But
train.
hey, he talking about but hey.
And to Dick Weiss at Hoops Weiss on Twitter, who tweeted out Notre Dame wants $75 million annually in new media rights contract from longtime broadcast partner NBC. Existing deal currently worth around $22 million per year, slated to expire in 2025. When was the last time the Irish won a title? When was the last time you were relevant in hoops, bro? Nobody talks about Dick Weiss anymore. And why the heck you worried about what we're valued?
That's true.
We asked for 75 million because god darn it, that's what we could get. Take your tail to go. Matter of fact, go to the back of the petty train. You don't even get to sit up in the front car. Go all the way to the back. Put you back there by the luggage.
By the luggage.
Questioning whether or not Notre Dame is worth 75 million on the open market right now in 2023. Man, get your goofy tail out of here. Go to the back.
But we definitely are though, like 100%.
That's goofy. You darn right. We predicted 75 million like a year ago. Easy. That's easy. It's like, come on, man. NBC knows what's up. They know what's up. Make it happen, Captain. So we can sign that 75 and then we can get to this apparel deal.
Yep. That's what it's coming down to.
Man, let's do it.
Just money before the season start real quick.
What's up with you, Left? Who you got in the petty train?
Oh man, the petty train. I had one actually. It was the news.
Uh-oh.
Let me find it
You
real
dug deep on this one, the news?
No, you're actually right. I think it is petty that Memphis actually told Dylan Brooks that it's under no circumstances. But you know what that was? I think it's because he challenged LeBron and they got on him for it. You know, and he was like, look, you can't be challenging LeBron like that. So, and I don't blame him. I think they try to get more serious as a team. And the way he played on offense, I think you just can't win with that. I mean, that's terrible production.
Man, I hope he can dress better.
Man, what's up with the NBA
No, no,
dressing?
no.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going, and I say this with a straight face. The Chicago Bulls would definitely be in on Dylan Brooks. I guarantee it, Left. Left, I'm telling you, that's just how dumb of an organization they are. I guarantee you, Dylan Brooks can be a Chicago Bull. I guarantee it, Left. I'm guaranteeing it right now.
Just picked up off the market.
Man, they will be looking at him in free agency like, boy, we can get him. He'll help us defensively. I can guarantee it, Left.
We'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he lands on his feet, man. Nobody likes seeing people get fired, man.
Man, look. You know what I think happened? After that game, last game 6, Ja and Desmond Bain walked up to the owner and the GM like, hey man, don't bring that dude back.
Yeah, get him out of here, man.
That dude can't help us at all offensively. At all.
Can't win with him. Definitely can't win. Yeah, it's a wrap.
So, my brother, I hope you can stick in the NBA because I don't want you to be without a job. I don't. I don't want him to be without a job, Left.
No.
I think he deserves to have a job.
Yeah, he
But
definitely
these marks said under no circumstance, dog.
under no circumstance are we bringing you back. You have told us everything we need to know, bro.
Left. Under no circumstance, bro.
What's a man got to do to deserve that? Good grief.
Hey, look, I think Shaq was a little petty last night on the Boston Celtics. He was a little harsh. I'll let him sit up front in the VIP of the petty train. But he was a little harsh. He was a little harsh.
Mm.
But you can't, man. Look, I'll tell you one thing, bro. The Doc Rivers needs to let that cat James Harden go to Vegas before every game.
Every game.
If him going to Vegas is gonna let him play like that,
Secret to success right there, I tell you
it'll
that.
be either that or they found some nice gentleman spots in Boston before the game.
And Boston had that potential.
They made him think he was in Houston again, so Houston James Harden can come out. I
mean,
don't know what happened.
Well, he really played his butt off for sure.
Man, boy. He hit that old school Harden, bang, 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 step back through 3 in front of Horford. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's
So
like
now,
that.
yeah. So now you definitely rest Embiid for game 2.
Yeah, of course.
You definitely rest him and let him come back for game 3 if he can give it a go at all. Lucky Lefty Podcast, man. Great show as always. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation for all of our great content, the audio edible of the day.
Audio edible of the day, baby.
Yeah, we might actually make that a nice little segment, dude. We find like a little audio from somebody and make it the audio edible of the day.
Somebody, man, gifted to somebody.
Yeah.
Put it
YouTube, subscribe, that thumbs up, hit that for us. We greatly appreciate you. Leave your comments. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You know, since that's all I am as a producer, just learning football.
That's crazy work.
Oh man, that was funny. For my man Left, that's D. I got one more day down here in the bayou.
Mm,
Yeah, one of my dad's best friends is a graduate of LSU.
really?
Yeah, he's a real cool dude, man. Real cool dude. He's trying to convince me to learn to take flying lessons, left.
Yeah, he ain't that cool.
No, he's a good dude. I've actually flown in his plane before.
Oh my
He's
god.
he
You be
drove
driving
up
small little planes?
he drove up last night. He drove up last night and he drove back home after the conference and he's flying up. He might be landing right now. He's flying up today. We have to pick him up from the airport and then we're gonna go have lunch. So he's a good dude, really good dude. I get tired of hearing about LSU. I had to talk about LSU women's basketball for like 20 minutes. I was like,
Oh,
this is 20 minutes I cannot get back, dude. Like,
oh, because you can never get back.
I do not want to talk about Angel Reese right now, man. Like, come on, dude.
That ain't Reese. Not that the LSU basketball team relevant like that
You
now.
know, so you know what I kept telling him? I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, but you do understand Brian Kelly's gonna ruin y'all football program, right?
That's right.
I said,
Get
so
ready,
it doesn't even matter.
get ready for that.
It doesn't even matter.
That's the excitement.
Look forward to that. Look forward to these 2 losses this fall and a quarterback battle between Nussmeier and Daniels being flip flop. Look forward to that. Lucky Lefty podcast. Yo, for Left, I'm Shaun Davis. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll tap in Micah Gilbert. Micah Gilbert's commitment is tonight. Will he pick the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? Will they get another wide receiver to go ahead to lock in with Isaiah Canyon and Cam Williams? We'll see. Yeah, Notre Dame's they're in there. They're in the fight.
In the
We'll
fight.
see what happens. Lucky Lefty podcast. Have a great Tuesday, but most of all, make sure that you spend it different.